Okay, we're live.
Look at that.
We're live. We're here.
We're finally big time now.
We are finally big time. Oh my goodness. Big time indeed. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mozos pregame show, postgame show, preseason show.
Yeah.
One of the three.
Whatever. We're all above, man.
All of the above. Absolutely. I'm Dylan. This is
I'm Caleb.
Actually, no, you could say your name. Sorry.
I'm Caleb.
There you go.
There you go. We're new to this. I'm new to this.
You're new to this. I'm not new to this, but we're going to have a lot of fun with this season. We're going to have a lot of fun here today. We are here live at Two Docs Brewing for the Mozos pregame, as well as the season ticket holder pickup event and the launch of their brand new beer, the Dos Toros.
They're repping the brand new jerseys as
got
well.
The brand
they
new
look
jerseys
beautiful
here.
This year, man.
Beautiful jerseys. They're actually breathable this year.
Yeah, it's
Isn't
amazing.
that awesome?
Those hot Texas summers, man.
Absolutely. The hot West Texas summers really get to you. So anyway, we're going to start off by talking a little bit about the show itself. What are we doing here, Caleb?
Yeah, man. I mean, this is one thing we've wanted to do for a while is like really engage with, it's like what are the Mozos thinking right now when we head into a game, and what we're talking about going the season. One thing we're going to try to do is, give us you the pregame shows live at location at Plains Capital Park, and then, try to do all the away games the most that we can.
Indeed. Yeah.
But it's going to be a great time for it.
Indeed. All of the away games will be here at Two Docs, so we're going to be doing that. All of the home games, we're going to be on site, as said before. We're going to see if we can get that working out.
Yeah.
But we're mainly doing this today just so we can get the kinks out. Iron out the kinks, get everything going, make everything work well.
What time were we supposed to start at before we got to the point we're at? We were supposed to start at like 2.
We were supposed to start at 2, and then we're like, nah, let's start at 3.
Yeah.
And now it's 3:03. We made it. We made it right on time.
Look, we're here, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
We made the trip. It's about the journey.
Indeed. And the journey starts now, ladies and gentlemen. The journey starts now. First things first, though. Let's talk. Second things second, actually. We already talked about first things first. Let's talk about the Mozos as well. The Mozos, check out the QR code right here on your screen. Caleb, you're on the board. Talk to us about that.
So the Mozos are an organization obviously made to support the Matadors, but on the other side of that, actually supports soccer development in Lubbock. So, you're going to see us at all the games. We're the guys who got the drums. We're being loud. We're having a party. But we are a 501c, which means we are a nonprofit organization. And the main thing for us is just, we have to develop soccer. Like, that's what we're trying to do, not on the actual pitch side, but on the fan side. I mean, we've seen drastic number increase in the Matadors in our organization. And that's what we're going to keep on doing, man.
How many dues-paying members do we have right now, Caleb?
Due-paying members, I think we have about 50.
50. 50 or 15?
50.
50. That's a lot of members there.
Yeah. And, like, we are very understanding that your dues are whatever you can pay. We have some people that pay some high amounts. We have some people who pay some very low amounts. But if you want to be a Mozo, guess what? You already are.
Yep.
You had the thought, you're in it.
Yes, absolutely. Go check out the QR code. Also, the website, mozoslbk.org. Is that correct?
Sir.
Yes, go check us out there. As a former Raider Riot president, it's thrilling. It is absolutely amazing. It's the best place to go and scream your voice out every single game day. I remember doing away games both in New Mexico and in Midland, and I was on drum duty, and that was amazing. That was so much fun. For the New Mexico game, actually, I forgot my batting gloves.
Oh yeah,
They just ripped right through my hands.
Yeah.
But second game, I brought them. I had my baseball bat in my car.
We don't have soft hands in the Mozos.
No soft hands.
No soft
hard
hands
out here only. So come and join us. We're going to be out here every single game day for the away game versus Midland. Y'all will be doing a fun little stream, IRL stream.
So obviously the Midland's a really fun travel down. It's only about 2 hours, and we're gonna hopefully have a live stream down there. Down in Midland, down in rivalry territory. So it's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a lot of fun indeed. Let's move on here to the schedule for this season. The schedule is here, and it is interesting. We have a first 3-game away game set, back-to-back home games after that. Away in Midland, back-to-back home games against Brownfield and CF10 Houston.
Brownfield?
Sorry, Brownville.
I love correcting people.
My bad. You see it on signs out here, and it's just like...
It's just in your brain.
You think about it.
Like, we don't think about, the whole 20-hour journey down to South Texas, right?
Exactly. So, Brownville, FC Brownville and CF10 Houston. final away game in Oklahoma, June 28th, and the home closer, the finale of the Dustico versus West Texas FC on July 5th. What are your thoughts on these first 3 games being away?
You know what? It's a really tough start to the season. I mean, like Arkansas is obviously a big travel, but you think about that tight weekend. You're going to Brownsville on the Friday.
Yep.
And then you're playing in Houston on the Sunday.
Yeah, and that's
a 2-game turnaround.
That is a huge 2-game turnaround. It's going to be back-to-back, just insanity.
Yeah, and honestly, one thing we're probably going to have to do is field completely 2 different 11s. You know, Brownsville, we'll get to it when we talk about the standings, but they are one of the best teams in this conference. And even though we've beaten them a couple times, they've beaten us a couple times, it's always a really tight game. So going into that game, we're looking, you know, you want to get all 3 points, right?
Yes.
You want to get 6 points out of that tight weekend, but you got to get what you can get when you go down there.
Realistically, do you think we can win all 3? Or
I do.
Okay.
I do. So we'll talk about it when we get to the standings, but Arkansas, they're new to the conference. I honestly think they're going to struggle this year. But Brownsville, we know them pretty well.
Yes, we do know them very well.
Whether we like them or not, they're part of this conference and they're here to win it.
And it's been a bit of a rivalry.
It has.
For the last 4 seasons. It's been a lot of fun.
You know, like there was the whole stuff when we were, was it the 2023 year?
Yes.
When we were playing at Cooper?
Yes.
Man, those 2 games
Those were intense.
I tell you, when we lost that final, it was what it was, but the scenes afterward were fiery, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talking going on.
Yes, lots of talking, lots of yapping there.
Yeah.
2 very, very passionate fan bases as well. So.
Yes.
So, yeah, that will be a fun one there. Then back-to-back home games, home opener against Arkansas Wolves, and then June 4th against the Fort Worth Vaqueros.
Yes, the other Hitch team.
Yes, the other Hitch
couple.
team. I might be working again for the ownership group again this summer for social media.
So you won't be on the broadcast.
I will be in the broadcast, but I will have to change into something Fort Worth to do social media sideline, and it's going to hurt my body.
If you're in the chat right now, you should boo Dylan for
Boo.
his.
Yes, please boo me. Please boo me. Please. Either way, either way, I get paid, so it's fine.
Hey, money's money.
Money
brother.
is money. I will take
money.
it. But yeah, this new Arkansas team coming into the league, affiliated with the Wolves, not Northampton? Sorry, the Wandering Wolves.
Yeah, so they used to be. I don't know if they still are, but it was a foundation academy in Arkansas that came through that system, and we'll talk about it later. They're not doing too great in their UPL campaign, but what they do well is develop local talent,
Yes.
which is what we got to do in these lower leagues. It's something Lubbock's trying to push with our stuff, but we'll see how we do in the league this year. But I'll tell you, the fun game after that is going to be that Fort Worth game.
That Fort Worth game is going to be spicy.
Because here's the thing, Fort Worth, they struggle pretty often, but they're also one of those clubs that like to develop players, but they also play a style of football that, all credit to them, will frustrate you.
Yes,
They like to play in a low block. They like to just frustrate you and play 11 men behind the ball, try to come here and get a point. That's what you got to do when you got to play teams like Lubbock, who got the firepower we do.
Oh, yeah, and this Fort Worth team played until the very last minute last year in Lubbock. It was very intense, and then Lubbock came out and won at the very end. So, you never know with this Fort Worth squad. But again, it's a home game for us. I think you would
expect to get 3 points.
We can get a decent 3 points out of that one. Next up, June 7th in Midland against our arch rival West Texas FC for the first leg of the Dustico.
Yeah, it's going to be it's good to have them there first. You get to come to home leg and know what you got to work for. But, we know what happens down there in Midland. Sadly, we've been burned last year.
Yes, that hurt.
That
stunk.
It did. Look, it's 50-50 right now in the series. We won it 2 years ago. They won it last year. Make it 2-1 for us. The big thing about that game, go in there, get what you can, and then defend it at Lubbock.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, they got a week to prepare because then they have Brownsville at home.
At home. That's going to be the fun one. And those middle June games, those ones are always the ones that you're looking at, especially if you're trying to get more wins to get further up on that champions table, get better results into the playoffs.
And that's a 6-pointer right there.
Yes.
You got to put it that way. If Lubbock wins, guess what? Brownsville dropped points because you beat them, and that's going to stretch that lead as far as you can get it. And that's the big thing this year is that, this conference is really tight at the top. And just, one win over one of those teams might make you win the whole conference. Whether you know it or not at the time, But that's going to be a big
Yeah.
one for us.
Absolutely. After that, CF10 Houston comes to town on June 19th. Any thoughts about this CF10 Houston squad?
So on the same thing, they develop a lot of local talent. They pull a lot of their players from Seven Lakes High School there in Houston, which is a top 10 soccer
Yes, and I
high
think-
school team in the nation.
And either in Cypress or Katy, they have
I
a
believe they're in
foundational.
Katy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They have a foundational camp there, as well as in Houston proper.
And, they came here last year, and, we beat them pretty convincingly. But you saw that performance. Like, these are 18, 17-year-old kids putting
Yeah.
up against really good performances against college players. So they're not a team you want to sleep on.
Correct.
If you go in there and, say, hey, we're going to play our style of football, they will go and get you.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one either way. Another home game in the deep summer.
Yeah.
Final away contest in Oklahoma on June 28th against Oklahoma United FC, new team in the NPSL this season.
And you know what? They've pulled really good numbers for the first year. I've been watching them on social media. I've seen the squad they pulled, and it's really impressive for a first-year team. I'm expecting a lot for them coming in this year, and I honestly think, besides the Brownsville game, I think that's going to be one of our hardest challenges, driving all the way to Oklahoma and playing against a team who's going to have that chip on their shoulder being a new team this year. And we'll talk about it against Stain, but I have him finishing pretty high in my table.
Yes, I did see his table. We'll get to that here in a bit. Finally, the biggest game on the schedule, the one everybody has circled, West Texas FC comes to Lubbock for the last leg of the Dusico day after Independence Day, July 5th.
4th of July weekend, there will be fireworks on the pitch and off the pitch. That's going to be a big one.
You're a natural
for
at this,
us.
Caleb. You're a natural.
I've had that prepared for 2 weeks. But that's a big one for us. We've had West Texas come here on that. Again, the season we won the championship, they came here and won it on a 97th minute winner. Ran all the way down the length of our pitch. I tell you, that was embarrassing for us.
Absolutely. And I was doing social media for West Texas that night, and that was...
Why do you keep saying these things?
Look, I have to make money somehow.
I get it.
I get it. And if I have to work
Bills
for the
gotta
enemy to
get
do
paid,
that,
rent's gotta get paid.
I got to do it. And, I mean, that hurt me. It hurt me on the inside.
But I'm telling you, what felt really good? When we went back to their place, did the same thing to them.
Exactly.
But that's going to be a big game for us because, based on how I think West Texas is going to finish here, that could be a game that gets them into the playoffs if they get a result.
Yes.
And if you're Lubbock, you want to make them not get in the playoffs. I'd love to beat them in the playoffs.
You want them to suffer and cry.
You want them to come to our place and do what they did to us.
Yes. And that was like a 4-1 brutal
demolition.
Loss. And that stunk.
And it stunk. Being there stunk.
Yes. But, hey, look, West Texas, we've got your coach. As our coach
and
this
some
season.
of your better players.
We got some of your players from last season. The narrative is there for revenge for West Texas. Will it happen? I'm not 100% sure. Well, we can wait on that.
Yeah.
We can wait until July 5th to answer those questions. Of course, let's move back into the studio here. We're going to talk about who is the best in the Lone Star outside of the Matadors. Who are the teams that you're watching here, Caleb?
It's going to be Brownsville and Oklahoma for me. Brownsville is one of those squads that come in every year where they're, you don't know what to expect for them, but they're going to be good. They will always finish in the playoffs. They're always going to be a really tough team to play against. They're going to impose their style on you. They're going to control possession on you.
Yes.
The other team is Oklahoma. And on the other side of that is that we see what they've recruited. We see what's going to happen, but we don't know what they're going to play.
Exactly.
And, we're kind of lucky, to be honest, that we play them at the end of the season.
Yes.
That we're going to have enough tape on them to maybe go get a result there. That's what I'm kind of worried about, bringing up Arkansas, that we play them at the very first game of the season.
Yes.
Even though they've struggled in their UPSL campaign this year, going to the first game, that's a struggle.
It is a bit of a struggle, absolutely. For me, my top two are Brownsville, of course. I mean, I think it's us and them at the very top.
Yeah.
And then I think that Fort Worth can be a bit of a player, a bit of a team this season. They are a Hitch-owned team. Hitch-owned teams always seem to do pretty well. They always find the best people to lead the teams. They always find the best players to play on these teams, the best coaching staffs.
Well, so their coach. I don't know how much you know about their coaching staff.
I don't know a whole lot about their coaching staff this year.
The coach that's there right now has been there for a couple years now. Used to be a Wrexham player.
Really?
In their academy, yes.
Wow.
And, he was really good for them, like in a youth level, and came here, got his youth pro license, has been leading that program for a long time.
There you go.
That's what I'm telling you. They play a frustrating style of football.
That'd be a lot of fun to see.
I'm telling you, luckily, we don't have to play them there this year. I was
Yes.
talking with Coach about this is weird voodoo. When
Every
you go
time
to
we
Fort
play
Worth,
in Fort Worth, it's
there's
like
something happens.
something happens, we
You know,
lose.
we went 2-0 up there, and in the last couple minutes, they went and scored 2. Mm-hmm. And
That was insane.
It
That
was
was a
an
crazy.
insane game.
That was a crazy game. So, I mean, and that game ended last year in a tie, I believe.
Yes, it was a 2-2
tie,
draw.
Draw. So, either way, you're going to have some of these best teams in the league, but we have to talk about who's the best and who's with the rest. Let's rank the league here. Going to move on into this station here. And Caleb, let's start with your bottom-ranked team in the NPSL.
If you couldn't have already tell, I've talked about a lot. I feel like it's going to be Arkansas.
Arkansas.
They have yet to win a game in their UPSL campaign this year. They've played 6 games. I think they are playing another one today. We'll see what that result is. But, I understand that a lot of their players who have yet to come in yet, but the style of football they're playing, I just don't see them picking up that many points. I could see them getting a shocker, maybe against some of those lower-ranked teams, maybe frustrating one of the higher-ranked teams like us. But
there's always a shot for an
hump.
upset, but
Especially in this conference.
yes,
Everything's so tight.
Yes, but at the same time, new team. I would personally put them where they're ranked on my leaderboard for something completely different and arbitrary outside of football. But that's just me. Who's your number 6 team here?
It's going to be Fort Worth.
Okay.
Again, I was talking about they play a very frustrating style of football. They're going to come in, they're going to sit in a low block, and they're going to play on the counterattack. And that's why it's like I was trying to decide, okay, well, we'll talk about it here in a minute, but if they're going to finish 5th or 6th,
Yep.
it's going to depend on where and when they get the results. They're a team who plays really tight at the end of the season. There were times where they were picking up really good results at the end of the season because they build really well into the season.
Yes.
But a team who I don't feel does that well is my next team, CF10 Houston. CF10 Houston plays really well at the beginning of the season and kind of falls away. So that's one thing I'm really worried about them, especially when you're doing, like we talked about, younger kids coming through in a development academy, that physical toll on your body when you're playing these older players.
A lot of stuff at the beginning, and you kind of have some confidence at the very beginning, especially when you're young, and then kind of slows down as you go through the season.
Let me put it this way. If I was 17 and I saw 6'4" Evan Howard running at me, I'm laying down. And I'm
letting him sidestep me.
I played pre-level high school soccer, but
I would love to do like some content in which we play against the team and just see how
20-0.
Yeah,
first
absolutely.
half.
Yeah, I don't think it would be
we
close.
Put Clayton at goalkeeper. What do you think?
I don't know. I think I would tear my ACL.
Our starting 11 would be a headache. Not because we're all good, but because we're all bad.
Yes. Oh yeah. Should we get Notorious on the starting 11? Actually, I think Notorious.
Hear me out. He's a really big guy. Put him in goal.
Physical guy. Put him in goal. I like it. I like it.
Right.
Let's move on to your top 4 now.
Number 4. Pull it up.
Okay. All right. Give me your opinions here.
I'm going to call some people out, and if this gets clipped, it gets clipped. They've built a really good squad this year. What I don't trust is the coaching.
Okay.
Their head coach, from what I've at least seen, has never been a head coach.
Interesting.
He was the goalkeeping coach at West Texas last year.
Okay.
And I really just don't feel he's going to have the presence that David had there last year. And their schedule is not in their favor.
Yeah.
They have to play.
They have a very tough schedule.
They have to play Oklahoma twice, Lubbock twice, and I believe Brownsville twice.
Oh no.
That is a gauntlet.
That is a bit of a gauntlet there.
But on the other side of that coin, at my number 3 spot, I have Oklahoma for the other reason.
Okay.
Is that their squad is okay, for this conference, but all of those players played with each other in college. They came through 2 different universities in Oklahoma.
They have enough tight-knit.
There's that chemistry there going into the season. And like we were talking about their schedule is really light. They have to play they have to play West Texas twice. Which, for that 3rd and 4th spot, those are 6-pointers going into those games.
Yeah.
But they have to play Brownsville once, and they don't even have to come to Lubbock this year.
Yeah, we have to play them there.
Which is a big thing that teams struggle with is coming here and dealing with that atmosphere.
Yes.
So to completely avoid it, and maybe only getting it in playoffs, it's going to be a big thing for them this year.
The college chemistry, the schedule shenanigans there, kind of helping them. Bit of a team to watch here. Now, let's move into let's do your number 2 team first. And I will reveal both at the exact same time.
I mean, this wouldn't be a Matadors and Mozos pregame show if I didn't have Brownsville 1, right?
Correct.
Or not Brownsville 1.
Yeah.
Matadors 1.
Correct. So there you go. You got Lubbock at the top, Brownsville in the 2nd spot.
And just for playoff sake, I think that obviously I hope Lubbock beats West Texas 3 times in one season, and
Hopefully,
that 1v4
fingers
game.
crossed.
And then Brownsville will beat Oklahoma, and then we have a rematch of the 2023 final.
And that'll be a lot of fun.
And this time, Lubbock's coming out on top.
All right, love the optimism there, Caleb. Let's move on to my
Let's see it.
top teams here. I'm going to put in the 7th spot here, Arkansas Wolves. The only reason I rank them at 7 is because their website is awful. I don't like their website. Clip this, okay? Whoever's head of marketing or head of digital communications at the Wolves, fix your website, please. It looks like an early 2000s eyesore. I can't even figure out what your schedule is what your roster is.
We were trying to get their
it's not
players.
updated.
We were trying to get their players up, and it said
It's not updated.
So it's like we're getting it ready for the 2022 season.
2022 was 3 years ago, guys. Come on, you guys have to be up there with this. I mean, come on.
That was the season the Matadors were founded.
Correct.
That's how long ago that
Correct.
is.
Yes, it's been so long. So Arkansas, as soon as you get your website up to date, I think
We'll consider it.
We'll consider putting you higher up on the list. In my 6th spot, CF10 Houston FC.
Yeah.
I love Houston. Houston's where my family's from, but
Really?
their football team isn't that great.
Yeah.
Again, as you were saying before, a lot of 18-year-old, 17-year-old players coming up, making it work. And usually they aren't 100% on the field every single game. We've seen times where they're about to play us a week before, they get a really big upset, they come into town, and we absolutely shellac them. So I think CF10 Houston could be a potential dark horse in this league, but
I 100% respect that.
more down towards the bottom of the league for me. For number 5, we're going to go with Fort Worth. I did say that they are one of the teams that could compete with the Matadors, and I still stand behind that. But the top 5 for me are very, very close with each other. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room in this league here.
I'll go on the Fort Worth comparison.
Yes.
If you've been watching, in England and whatever, the style of football they play is very close to Forest.
Yes,
Not in Forest. They're going to play low possession, but they're going to hit you on the counter really hard.
Yeah.
And that's what their entire goal is. And that, it might not work against those lower level teams, but when you start playing those higher teams, it frustrates.
It frustrates everybody. So I think that Fort Worth could definitely put some numbers up, maybe be a dark horse this season. Number 4, Oklahoma. Now, what you were saying about Oklahoma being in the top 3, I agree with that. The top 4 can kind of ebb and flow, be a little different for me because in my 3 spot, I've got West Texas.
Yeah, I think those 2 spots are very interchangeable.
They can swap. They could absolutely swap. Both Oklahoma and West Texas both have very good squads, very solid rosters. And West Texas, I put in my 3 spot because they've got a bit of a revenge arc this season against Lubbock. They've got the script is written.
The script is written. You beat us last year in a down year for us, and we said we're going to take your coach and some of your best players.
We're going to do the
Who's
old
your
poach.
daddy?
Who's your daddy? Exactly. Absolutely. And then my top 2 is the same as yours. Lubbock on top, FC Brownsville next. During the offseason, there was a lot of drama around the NPSL with a lot of teams leaving to the League for Clubs, USL 2, a bunch of these other outsider leagues on the same level of the pyramid. And there was some concern about Lubbock. There's some concern. Where are we going? Are we going to be going to USL? Denton went up to USL. The Hitch's new team out in McKinney, the McKinney Chupacabras,
which is, by the way,
they immediately
great name,
amazing logo, love the branding. They immediately went up to USL.
Yeah,
and they don't have to play in NPSL. Lubbock wants to win. They want to win a championship no matter what league we're in, and right now the NPSL gives us the best chance to win a national title and bring it to West Texas.
silverware back to Lubbock.
Correct.
And I 100% believe we could have done that in the USL or maybe the League for Clubs, and I'm honestly a little disappointed that teams like Denton and Laredo left.
Yes.
Denton has never beat us.
Denton has never beat Lubbock, and I would love to continue to play them, but
we'll wait. That Lubbock-Laredo rivalry was tight.
Very, very hot.
I got some firsthand experience on that.
Yes, I remember last year you were barking at them, they were barking back at us.
Yeah,
it was insane.
It's a great rivalry.
Didn't you always go to like Laredo Taco Company?
I would go to Laredo Taco before the game.
And
I'd eat it, and there would always be a photo of me, doing something to the bag, beating it up, doing whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, it stinks that both of them left, but that kind of leaves the league a tad wide open for us.
Yes.
Going from a 10-team league down to a 7-team league. That kind of makes things like this schedule a little bit precarious. Tighter and precarious. But the teams that are in the league right now are here to win, especially West Texas, especially us, especially Brownsville, especially Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They want to stay in the league.
They're not here to take part. They're here to win.
They're here to win, absolutely. So the league gets a lot tighter. as we go along. Those are our top 7s. And by the way, we have a very special guest in the chat. Hi, Mom. My mother is in the chat. Hello, Mom.
Hello.
Hello.
Dylan's mom.
We are drinking some Two Docs beer, some fine Two Docs beer. I've got the Chilton Goes. He's got the brand new Dos Doctores.
I'm telling you, it's good.
It's really good. I got a 6-pack with buying this jersey, so
Yeah,
that's
get your
great.
new jerseys, by the way.
The great new jerseys. These are amazing. This is the home kit. This is the special edition kit. These things are going to be great because they finally are breathable. Actually, hold on. I'm going to grab my jersey that I wore here today, and we're going to compare these two.
What year was that?
This one is the 2024 jerseys. This one's last year's jersey. Thank you. There you go. This jersey, it looks good. Don't get me wrong. I like the style of it. I wear it all the time. However, it is not breathable.
Not breathable whatsoever.
There is no perforation. In those hot summer days in Lubbock, it is hot.
Yeah.
It is like sticking to your body.
I told you, I remember when I saw the players wearing this coming off the field drenched.
Yes.
Drenched in sweat.
Yes,
and
drenched in sweat.
I've been sitting around here. I don't know what the weather is like outside. I don't know the exact temperature, but it is hot. I will tell you
Hot.
what.
It is like in the 80s
And I've been
today.
able to hang out outside. I've been able to hang out in here. A bunch of people in here. It gets hot.
And
But
the best part about these, embroidered logos.
Oh,
We've got the
we're big
embroidery
time.
on the logos.
We're big time.
We've got, the pinstripes are amazing.
I love
it's
I
so
love
hot.
them. That was one of my things for these jerseys was it felt a little bland.
Yes.
It was just a straight black and red. You got some white, you got some pinstripes on there. It looks really good.
Very, very hot, very tight. So I'm very excited about wearing these this season. So shout out the Matadors. Go and check out their store down on Buddy Holly Avenue. If you're in town, check them out. They've got plenty of game-worn jerseys, other apparel, lots of fun stuff for you.
Scarves, they got everything.
They've got
Hats,
everything.
The hats are so good.
Hats are great. I've got my
There you
Mozos
go.
hat right here.
Oh,
yeah.
look at that.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's great.
It's great.
It's great. I think I was talking to Thomas, and I was begging him, please, please carry baseball caps this season. That would be great.
Okay. I might be announcing something I'm not supposed to, but we've
okay.
talked about this. They're bringing the dad hats in. They've talked about it.
Yes.
We're going to get them. We're going to get them.
Yes, I love dad hats. Dad hats are my favorite.
Thomas can fight me about this later, but he told me that in secret.
Okay, so dad hats are coming. Very, very nice. Very, very good. Well, we've got a little bit of a surprise coming in here. We've got a great guest coming in. We've got the president of the Mozos. He'll be joining us right after this break, so don't go anywhere. More of the Mozos Preshow will be coming up next. All right. Welcome back to the Mozos Pre-Show. We're joined here by Ryan, El Presidente of the Mozos. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're here.
We're here.
Having a good time.
I'm excited
man.
that we're doing this. This is it's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and talk to us? We've already talked about what the Mozos mission statement is.
Okay.
Let's hear it from El Presidente. Let's hear it the man with the head.
Yeah, I mean, the long story short is me and a couple of my friends decided that we can't come to soccer games unless we have drums and chants and smoke and all the things that you expect to see in a soccer game. So they said, build it. And so we built it, and you guys have come along. We're to the point now that we have a podcast, which is amazing. We've had people that have just grafted themselves onto this group, and it's been amazing. It's so cool to see the diversity of ages and backgrounds and types of people. Like it's awesome. Like we have people from all over Lubbock and all different backgrounds that have joined in, and it's just been exactly everything and that we dreamed it could be and more. So, the only thing that I would say is if you want to be a Mozo, you are. That's always been part of our vision statement. There's definitely ways to get more involved and to help support us, but if you want to be a part of the Mozos, you already are. Just come and make the noise and join in the chants and just make yourself known and be a part.
Yeah, and that was one thing I was talking with Dylan about was that there's people who ask, well, what about dues? Like, how do we make our money? Our thing on dues is pay what you can.
Right.
Yes.
If you want to be a Mozo, but you can't maybe make that financial thing, guess what? It doesn't matter to us.
Sure.
But if you're on that higher end and you want to be, helping us push forward, and you want to make a donation, which you can make a donation on our website,
Yep.
that would be amazing for us. It helps us push forward and push on.
Absolutely. So, we last year we became a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So we have that designation with the IRS. All of donations to the Mozos are tax deductible, which is awesome. It's just a great tool that we have to continue our mission of being a supporters group, right? To support the club, to support what their mission is, and for us to have a tool to be able to help further that is great. So the team has been very generous with us, and we actually have the Mozos season ticket, which you can buy one of those. It's the exact same as the premium season tickets, same price, same benefits. The only added bonus to that is that you are more involved with us as a supporters group. You get
That's
to,
how I got involved as well.
Absolutely.
I got those tickets, and I continue to be a season ticket holder with the Mozos.
Excellent. Yes, that's exactly it. There's no difference between the two, but what it does is it allows you to be a part of our Discord, to be in the actual conversations about how we operate as a supporters group. Allows you to run for positions on the board, or be a part of committees to do TIFO, or to help with merch, to help with the different things that we try to do. So please be involved. Like you said, it's give what you can, and they are tax deductible. We do have the Mozos season ticket that you can buy if you want to be a part of our board. If you want to run for a position on that, or be a part of a committee to help with different things, those are excellent ways to do that, and that's the way that you can do that. But every little bit helps, and even if it's not monetarily, just coming and joining yourself to us during the games. I know that the way that we do support, the way that we create a game day environment at a Matadors game is different than every other type of thing that you probably go to in Lubbock. It's different than the type of support that you would give to Texas Tech, or to your kids' soccer games or baseball games or whatever it might be. There's cowbells, but it's not just cowbells that we're banging in the stadium for a football game. Trumpets, trombones. We have a full brass section. We have multiple drums. We have the whole thing, and so we really tried to base it off of everything that we've seen across the country, across the world, really. And whenever it comes to soccer support, very much trying to bring that European and MLS style of soccer support to Lubbock. And I think that we've been fairly successful with that.
And one thing that I think has pushed us so far forward, and this was part of our mission statement as well, of encouraging youth support as well. We have the Mozito program where we're trying to bring kids in so they eventually grow into those roles.
Yes.
Absolutely. So you think soccer support, you think, this might be something that's maybe a little bit more PG-13 or R-rated sort of chance that we do.
You see it especially in Europe, and
absolutely.
a lot of that.
That's something that we've made it a point to with the Mozos is to keep our chants and what we do very family friendly, so that we can involve those kids, so we can involve the children. So actually in the 25th minute for every game now, we started this tradition last year. But we wanted to make sure that the kids were going to be more involved, and so now for the 25th minute, they get the megaphone.
Yep.
They get to lead whatever chant that they want to lead. So we'll have kids coming up and wanting a chance on the megaphone. Jeff, our capo, will hand over the megaphone and help them lead chants, but it's the kids leading the chants for a few minutes. And so we want to make sure that they're involved, want to make sure that they're a part of it. And so, it's very family-friendly, very much a family-oriented supporters group. So in that regard, maybe a little bit different than what you'll see elsewhere, but it's very important to us to kind of keep that as we continue to grow, because we want as many people to be a part of this that can be and want to be.
Yes, and that's the best part about it. I mean, anyone can be a part of the Mozos. Just bring the energy, bring the noise.
That's
I remember
noise.
My mom
That's
sat behind y'all one of the times she was in town, and she was making noise. So either way, it makes sense.
We have Joan, we have Keith. They're both older. We have my daughter. We have Emily. We've got kids that are 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. We've got the full range of age groups represented within our group, and that's something that I'm most proud of.
I got the
really,
big
really
man
cool.
on my
So,
right,
we
but
got
I got
Notorious.
the biggest
Notorious.
man on my left.
Come here.
He's just sneaking in behind us.
Sneak in behind us a little bit.
Come on.
There we go.
Make a little
Oh,
appearance.
yeah, there we go.
There he is, the
Notorious
big
right
man
here.
himself.
Big man himself.
There he is. Awesome. Thank you, Notorious.
Thank you for
Thanks
joining us,
popping by.
Notorious. Thank you.
Oh,
Amazing.
that,
Love that.
so I'll tell a funny story since we're here.
Oh, yes,
my
please.
roommate is deathly terrified of mascots. This
Oh,
was at
fun.
the Open Cup game.
Oh,
And I
no.
didn't tell him about it. And so, we were just sitting there, and all of a sudden, Notorious walks by, and I see it in her eyes, just goes, and like I thought she was about to break out. But you know what? I mean, we talk about youth in Lubbock.
Yeah.
Notorious is a good thing about that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Notorious is like, it's just a thing for them to see. We talk about with Raider Red and some of the stuff he does. It's the same thing for Notorious. The kids see him and they get happy.
They get happy.
Right.
They get involved with,
Oh,
with
yeah.
it. And when Notorious is going crazy, the kids are going crazy. And
We've
that's,
given Notorious
what we need.
the drum a couple times, and that's always very
always been
interesting
fun.
to see.
Well, it's just so good that we have both just that icon, that image of Notorious, but even beyond that, the club is investing in youth soccer here in Lubbock, and even more so this year. I mean, there are rumors
There
of
have
an
been
academy.
like 4
there are,
LSA camps as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We do multiple camps throughout the summer. There's talk about an academy. Like, they're here, and this is something that I said to Hitch early on. I said, don't be the Crickets. Don't be the Cotton Kings. Don't be one of these clubs that just comes in, plays for a few years, and leaves.
Yeah.
Like, be invested. Be invested in this community. And I am so thankful for our ownership group that they are that. They are invested in Lubbock. They are invested in the growth of the game in Lubbock. And they put their money where their mouth is. And they go after that, especially at the youth level. And so that's, I think a big thing that we can all just be proud of and be excited about is just like the other big brand in sports that we have here in Lubbock, Texas Tech, obviously, they're invested in that. They obviously see the value in that and put their money where their mouth is that way. And now we have outside ownership groups that are not from Lubbock that come in and very much see that, very much feel exactly what Lubbock is and get what Lubbock is, because it's a different place.
Yeah.
Lubbock is different than any other city in the U.S. It is a 300,000 person, 3,000 person town.
Yeah.
It is the
It's both a
biggest
big city
small
and
town.
it's
the biggest
feels
small
small
city.
town.
It's
It's
the
great.
biggest small town ever.
Yes.
Like it is, it acts like it's 3,000 people because everybody knows everybody. Like you can't go anywhere without seeing somebody you know. And so understanding that dynamic of having the size that we have, but having the community feel that we have, I think is something that I've seen a lot of different businesses come in and not have that understanding of what the community of Lubbock is. But Hitch got it right away.
Yeah.
Like he totally understood what this is.
Absolutely.
And totally knew how to get involved and has continued to do so.
And on a
So-
more direct level, Dustin McCorkle. Dustin has
Love you, Dustin.
love you, Dustin.
Love you,
There's
Dustin.
your shout out.
For sure.
Like Dustin, Thomas, all of them in the front office.
Absolutely.
They have done a tremendous job of growing it.
Absolutely.
I mean, whenever I first met Thomas, intern, I didn't think he was going to be, he's going to go on to bigger and better things in Dallas or Austin or wherever. But no, like he's sat around and become a part of this
Yes.
and has decided to stay in Lubbock and decided to help build this
And raise his
I love
family
to see
here.
it. Exactly. And Dustin has, he came from New Mexico United. He has, like, the pedigree on Dustin McCorkle is huge.
Yes.
I mean, he comes from big sport. He comes from some of the biggest clubs in the country in all different types of sports. I think he was with the Rangers
yes.
for a
yes.
while in New York. Like, so he did hockey. He's done
With the Atlanta Hawks. as
Atlanta
well.
Yes,
Hawks.
he did
did
basketball,
around,
he
man.
did
New Mexico
soccer.
United.
Yeah.
So I mean, the guy has a pedigree, and he comes here and he says, "No, Lubbock's my place. Lubbock's where we're going to build this, and we're all in."
And building
I
building a
love to be
sports
able to see that.
franchise from the ground up is just a
It's
beautiful thing.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous.
I want to thank them personally for having us out here,
Yeah,
letting us
absolutely.
use both their sponsor, Two Docs, to have us here, having us be at the game days and doing
For
this
sure.
show live this season. No other supporters group has this.
Not in the MPSL.
Not in the
No.
MPSL. I wouldn't even say USL.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
USL
most
Championship.
Championship, maybe.
But
Because I was on one last year.
Yes.
With your team.
yes, with New
With your
Mexico
other
United,
team.
with my other team. Yeah, no, this is my team. Another great story. I'm from New Mexico. I'm from Albuquerque,
Yeah.
and we all travel into Albuquerque for the U.S. Open Cup game. And I've got a bunch of friends I went to high school with on the United supporters group. And they were like, Dylan, why aren't you out with us? I'm like, because I live in Lubbock now. I'm like whoever wins, I win. That's great. But I'm going to be cheering with Lubbock. Because that's just that's where I live.
And, that Open Cup game did really massive things for this
Yes,
club. Those
absolutely.
2 great wins out there at LCU. And, I was watching what Oklahoma was saying when they were coming in. And one of those things is that they didn't say that we want to build a good atmosphere. They said we want to build an atmosphere like Lubbock.
Yes, they want to build like us. And if we are a blueprint for how this is going, that just shows how special this club really is.
We're doing something right.
I mean, we have a podcast.
We have a podcast.
Yeah.
We have a podcast.
Podcast,
We have a pre-show.
A pre-show,
That's-
live show. I mean,
Amazing.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah.
This has been great.
right.
Last thing that I want to say is that we do have a fundraiser coming up this next weekend. So if I have any plug, we are a nonprofit. We have to have some little bit of money to make TIFO, to buy smoke, buy new drum heads, drumsticks, to continue building the atmosphere that we do on game day. And so Two Docs has been gracious enough to allow us to host a fundraiser here. We're going to have Coach come in. So what we're calling it is sip and support. So we're going to have a flight of beer. It's $10 for the flight of beer. We get a little bit of that as part of that fundraiser. And so come in, buy a flight of beer. We're going to have one of the Two Docs staff here to teach you a little bit about the nuance of those 4 different beers, I believe it's 4, that are on that flight, and talk a little bit about what those tasting notes are. But then we're going to have Coach come in, and he's going to talk about a few different things, maybe some of the nuance of the game that might not be as familiar to newer fans, but also about us as the Mozos and why we're important to the Matadors as a part of the growth of this club and a part of the growth of this movement that we're all trying to create with the growth of the game here in Lubbock. And so I would encourage you guys to come out and enjoy that with us. We're going to have a good time, and it's going to be next Saturday, May 10th, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., same time as this event here. So same time next week, we'll be right back here rolling it back at Two Docs, talking soccer and drinking beers and having a good time. So please come out and support us. We could really use the support. And sip and support, May 10th, 2 to 4 p.m.
all right. Well, thank you, Ryan, for
Thank you,
coming
Ryan.
around. We'll take
Thank
a
you, guys.
short break, and then we'll come back and then wrap up the show.
Yep,
Perfect.
absolutely. Thank you again. We will be right back after this. Hold on. Wait. Okay, now we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Mozos pre-show, and we're here to wrap up the show. But first things first, impact players, Caleb.
Yeah, so we're talking about the players of the season. I have the one who is in the room right now. I didn't realize that until I just started talking about this, but I have Duvon as my player of the season. So Duvon played in Tucson and Des Moines in USL 2, and is currently one of the coaches at LCU. And here's the thing. the average age of this squad is about 22.
Yes.
He's 32. He's got that older experience, especially playing in the 6th position as a holding midfielder. He's going to be most likely the captain coming into the side. And he's going to be leading that team from the back. He is the on-field coach.
Yes.
You know, there's only so much David can do from the sideline. But Duvon sitting there in the midfield, controlling the pace of the game, I think he's going to be our best player this season.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely agree there. I've got a little bit of a list here of players that I'm looking at right now. I forgot to bring it onto the set.
Oh.
You know, no, it's fine. It's okay. This is why we have this show for today, so we can ease out all of these here. Yes, as you said before, average age 22 of this team, but I've got 3 players that are returning from last season's squad onto this season. We've got Adam Solana, Jack Pasco, Evan Howard. Adam, notably, is our goalkeeper coming back.
You know, that goalkeeping department from those players that David's brought in is tight.
Very good.
You know, Adam was pretty good for us last year, but all the other players who are in there are also D1 college starters.
Yes.
This is a college all-star team.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, and he was so good for us last year, and he's had to fight for his place this year. Talking about returners, though, and a player who's really well, Ethan Jiwa McNeil.
Yes.
You know, he didn't play for us last year. He was in, I believe he was in USL 2.
Yeah.
But, you know, he played for us in that 2023 season when we made it all the
In
way
the
to the
Open Cup.
final.
Yep.
And he, you know, we argued about it because a lot of the stuff at the beginning of that season we couldn't track very well. But him and Pablo,
Yes.
we think we're tied for top goal scorer. He is bringing some electricity on that right wing. And then also talk about return players, you know, I already brought him up. Duvon was part of our Open Cup team that we talk about going to New Mexico. So the amount of skill on this team, and returning players who know the city and know the culture of the club is massive.
Yeah. And that's exactly what you want. You want some of these returners to come back in and to, you know, just put this club under their wing, communicate to all these other players that, hey, this is something special. We got something special going on here. I believe Evan Howard plays at Coastal Carolina as well.
Yes, and I believe he just announced that he is transferring. I believe he's trying. I don't know exactly what the situation is there, but we wish him all the best.
Yes.
He's going to come to Lubbock here. He's going to show off his trade for all those colleges, and we hope the best for him. We hope he has a season like he did last year. Absolutely.
I'm hoping he has a great season here as well. That would be a lot of fun too. Yeah, I mean, that kind of wraps it up for the player side stuff. But we're probably going to have some interviews this season with some players, with the coaching staff. We're hoping to get some of that, especially post-game here at Two Docs.
Yep.
You're going to be seeing a lot of us this season. Go check us out on YouTube, where these streams will be hosted. After this, of course.
Some technical difficulties. That's why we did this. We came in and said, hey, this is the test run.
Test run. We got to make it work, and we made it work. So very happy about that. So go check us out. Just go onto YouTube, search up Mozos LBK on YouTube there. We're going to be streaming from there, as well as our Instagram, our Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it nowadays.
Wherever you want to be, try and find us. We'll probably be there.
Correct. Make sure also to check us out on all of our social media as well. And come out to games. Go to our website.
See the show live.
See the show live. We're going to have a nice little canopy and everything out there. It's going to be so much fun. So if you're at one of our games this season, come on out and say hello. Everybody here is fantastic.
You know, get a beer, watch Matadors kick some butt, man.
Absolutely. We will be back with this show on May 17th with the away game right here at Two Docs Brewery.
For Arkansas.
Playing against Arkansas. It's going to be a lot of fun. Caleb, any final words before we go off?
I'm on the Matadors, man.
Let's go Matadors. We will see y'all next few weeks, actually. I think 2 weeks from now, I want to say, unless we want to go live for the support for the brewery thing.
We'll see. But we'll definitely be here the 17th.
Yes, we will definitely be here the 17th. Mark your calendars. 17th, around 7 p.m. Central. And we will see you guys then. Have a great evening, everybody, and let's go Matadors.
Go Matadors.